Good evening. Welcome to the December 17th meeting of the Oceanside City Council, the last City Council meeting for the year 2025. Next time we meet will be in 2026, January the 14th. Welcome everyone. Tonight we have a special guest, the Oceanside High School Choir. So they'll be singing with us, for us, and it's always exciting to have them here. Roll call, please.
Mayor Sanchez.
Present.
Deputy Mayor Joyce.
Present.
Councilmember Figueroa.
Present.
Councilmember Robinson. Councilmember Weiss.
Thank you. I'd like to go ahead and read the land acknowledgement. We acknowledge the Payum Kawichum, the people of the West, as the traditional land caretakers of the land on which Oceanside is built and its surrounding traditional cultural landscapes. Today, the Payum Kawichum are known as Luiseño and are made of 7 bands: La Jolla, Palapalma, Pechanga, Rincon, San Luis Rey, and Saboba. We are mindful of the indigenous peoples in this place, and we pay our respects to the Luiseño, past, present, and emerging. We are grateful to have the opportunity to be part of this community in Luiseño territory and to honor the history, culture, and perseverance of spirit. Thank you. Please stand for the invocation. Tonight we have Pastor Dr. Kadri Webb from St. John's Church. Pastor Webb.
Shall we pray? Gracious God, we thank you for the blessings of this day that you've allowed our eyes to see, our ears to hear, our hearts to feel, our feet to move toward doing your work in our individual lives. We lift you now. We pray for our council during this time of business. We pray that during the Advent season, as we remember the gift of your Son, that you remind all of us of the power of giving. We ask that you would allow us to each self-abnegate, to see you and to see people as central to the work and to the mission of this city. In Christ's name we pray, amen.
Amen. Please remain standing. Going to call the OHS Choir, Leah Ritt, the director, and we have someone who's going to help us lead in the pledge.
You're going to introduce yourself and then start.
Hi, my name is Danai Fernandez Carrillo, and I'm the alto section leader of the OHS Choir. Put your right hand over your heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated. Thank you. You may be seated. Thank you. I'm Leah Ritt. I'm the choir director at Oceanside High. I've been teaching at Oceanside High since 2011, and we love coming to this city council meeting for the holidays. We have prepared holiday music for our winter concert, and our choir is not all here today. I chose a few small groups to share with you. So the first small group is going to come forward to sing their song, and it's made up of our section leaders. So go ahead and arrange yourselves. And then these guys come off. So our choir section leaders lead the voice section that they're a part of. So we have the soprano, the alto, the tenor, and the bass, and I'll let them introduce themselves. And then they'll sing a holiday classic, Carol of the Bells.
I'm Adeline Uggan. I'm a junior at Oceanside High School, and I'm the soprano section leader.
I'm Liam Houston. I am the tenor section leader at Oceanside Choir.
My name is Danai Fernandez. I'm the alto section leader, and I'm a junior.
My name is Christian Rodriguez, and I'm the bass section leader for Oceanside High School.
And this next group is one of my favorites from our winter concert. The students organized themselves and auditioned for placements on our different gigs this year and to perform small groups and solos at the concert. This group prepared this song. It's called White Winter Hymnal, and you might recognize it. Pentatonics made it famous. It's a really cool song, and they worked really hard on it.
With stars of red tied round their throats, to
Chairs, thank you so much, Mayor, for inviting us to perform. Thank you, City Council, for all the support of the arts in Oceanside. Really appreciate you all.
Thank you. We're going to take a picture. So they're gonna dump the chairs, but weren't they fantastic? Yeah. So I don't have to say it takes a lot of dedication to be doing this, a lot of time. I got to be on the OHS Honor Choir, and we would go around, and back then Oceanside was a lot smaller, so we'd go to like Oceana and just different places to be able to sing and even compete. Remember, we went to University of San Diego, and it was such wonderful acoustics there. Yeah, but come on, council members, come on up, and I'll be somewhere in the middle here, and hope to hear not just from them, not just around Christmas time or holiday time, but hopefully that you can come back other times too. Thank you. Thank you. Happy holidays. Next, we have the Employee Recognition Awards. So I'm going to hand the mic off to someone who is going to be in charge of this. Here we go. And this is also very, very special. We have some special guests, probably some family members. So this is our time to thank our city employees for all the wonderful work they do throughout our city and for many years sometimes. Thank you.
If we could have council members, any other elected officials, department directors, please come up. Ready? Good evening, Mayor Sanchez, council members, department directors, and audience. On behalf of the Human Resource Department and the City of Oceanside, we would like to present our 2025 Third Quarter Service Award recipients who have reached the milestone of 20 years of service or more. The following recipients have reached 20 years of service. Although they were not able to attend tonight's presentation, we would like to acknowledge Mark Fullen, Kevin Hoffman, and Gabriel Nolasco. Please join me in a round of applause for our 20-year service award recipients. Next, we have 25 years of service. When your name is called, please come forward. James M. Crawford. James was hired on November 16, 2000 as a Code Enforcement Officer 1 in the Development Services Department. In May 2002, James was promoted to Code Enforcement Officer 2. As a Code Enforcement Officer 2, James has provided the public with excellent customer service, provides consistent work product, and effectively manages his caseload. His handling of complaints helps maintain public health, safety, and quality of life for Oceanside residents. Thank you, James, for your hard work and dedication for 25 years. Franklin W. Culver. Frank was hired on November 15, 2000 as a garage service worker in the Public Works Department Fleet Division. Frank consistently maintains a pleasant and positive attitude. He is always available to resolve issues with a constructive and positive outcome. Frank is a valuable contributing member to the Fleet Division and has remained a hardworking and loyal city employee for 25 years. Congratulations, Frank.
Oh, Frank. Clean up night. Yeah.
Joshua A. Morris. Joshua began his career with the City of Oceanside Police Department on October 23, 2000 as a police officer recruit. He then promoted to police officer following his completion of Police Academy in May 2001. In January 2014, Joshua promoted to his current position as police sergeant. Sergeant Morris effectively manages his roles as part of the Family Protection Unit and Mobile Field Force. In January 2023, Sergeant Morris received Cop of the Quarter from the District Attorney's Office for his work at One Safe Place. Sergeant Morris is unselfish, loyal, self-motivated, and emulates the image of a constant professional. Let's congratulate Sergeant Joshua Morris for 25 years of service to the City of Oceanside. Kirk A. Munt. Kirk began his employment with the City of Oceanside on November 27, 2000 as a Code Enforcement Officer 1 in the Development Services Department. Kirk contributes and leadership in the Code Enforcement Division has gained recognition within the department by him achieving several promotions within the division as a Code Enforcement Officer 2 in May 2002, Senior Code Enforcement Officer in September 2013, Code Enforcement Manager in February 2018, and his current role as a Code Enforcement Division Manager in October 2019. Kirk maintains a positive and patient approach, which makes him successful in his position. Join me in congratulating Kirk for 25 years of service. In addition, the following recipients have also reached 25 years of service, although they were not able to attend tonight's presentation. We would like to acknowledge Mark Barnett, Patricia Moser, Matthew Price, Louis Rayberg, Richard Scheckel, Dennis Van Norman, and Carl Wilson. Please join me in a round of applause for our 25-year service award recipients. Next, we have 30 years of service. When your name is called, please come forward. Nathaniel C. Brazelton. Nathaniel began his career with the City of Oceanside in September 1995 as a police officer with the Oceanside Police Department. He then became a police sergeant in October 2011 and more recently promoted to his current role as a police lieutenant in November 2023. Lieutenant Brazelton oversees the Homeless Outreach Team, Crime Suppression Team, and the Psychiatric Emergency Response Team. He also serves on the advisory committees for Mobile Crisis Response Team, the Homeless Committee, and Special Events. Lieutenant Brazelton has an impressive working knowledge on the intertwining facets of homeless issues that have not gone unnoticed within the police and city leadership. We thank you, Lieutenant Brazelton, for your continued dedication and commitment to the community and the City of Oceanside. The following recipients were not able to attend tonight's presentation but deserve recognition. Gary Alexis, who achieved 25 years of service, and with 35 years of service, Tony Gonzalez Jr. and Mark Rowe. On behalf of the City of Oceanside, congratulations to everyone recognized this evening. We thank you for your continued commitment to our community. That concludes tonight's service awards. Please join me in a round of applause for tonight's recipients. We've got the very, very best employees working for the City of Oceanside. Yeah? Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Closed session report, Mr. Burke?
Thank you, Mayor. The council did meet in closed session earlier today at 3:30. There was no meeting on item 1, conference with labor negotiator. On item 2, council did meet regarding conference with legal counsel in the matter of Bradford Portlock versus City of Oceanside, workers' comp claim number 24K000158. There was a direction given, but no reportable action under the Brown Act.
Thank you. On to consent calendar items 3 through 20. Are there any requests to speak on behalf of the public?
We have requests to pull item number 5, item number 6, and item number 16.
All right, is there a motion to approve the balance?
Motion to approve balance.
Thank you. Is there a second? Okay, there's a motion and second. Please vote.
Motion approved, 5-0.
Thank you. Item number 5, staff recommends City Council approve a purchase order for Olaf Ford in the amount of $111,298 for the purchase of one 12-passenger E-Transit van for the Parks and Rec Department, and authorize the Financial Services Director or designee to execute the purchase upon upon receipt of all supporting documents. And who is the person who has requested to speak on this?
Leo Chapinski?
Mr. Chapinski, AKA Santa tonight.
Mayor, City Council, you know, I wasn't prepared to talk on that until I saw the amount of dinero going through that. And I go to the Oceanside Senior Center occasionally to do some work on the computer and send letters off to senators and congressmen and second ladies of America and various other people. But I watch all these elderly in the gym in their 70s, 80s, and 90s working out at the gym. I'm impressed. Problem is, they have no water to drink. No cold water anyway. We once had a really nice machine about this size that gave you hot water instantly for tea. It's always nice. Cold water, in case you're heating up a little bit in your 80s and 90s working on that treadmill. But we can spend all this money on police cars and helicopters and drones, bless you, and all sorts of stuff. But we cannot have one of these little refrigerated units in the gym over there at El Corazon for the elderly, the seniors, and people my age. I mean, they're working hard, and they shouldn't have to be made to walk 20, 30 feet to go outside the doors and get some tepid, warm water to drink. They should be able to get some cold water, I would think. And then tonight, I wanted to get a cup of hot chocolate. Oh, buddy, talk about pulling teeth. Someone almost got fired there. We don't serve you folks anymore. You got to bring your own hot water. You got to bring your own stuff to eat and drink. We can't provide you with hot water for hot cocoa. Are you kidding me? You know how much money that would cost? And I think the parks and recs have something to do with the senior center. I believe they, anyway, could be wrong. But I think it's time that we start treating our seniors and our elderly and our veterans a little bit better. I mean, I've only been to 49 states and 12 countries, and I've been to some really good senior centers. We don't even make the top 100. We aren't even close. But come on, let's have some cold water, some hot water for tea. It can't cost that much. It just really can't. So come on, let's step it up a little. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll look into it. I'm going to go ahead and move approval. Is there a second? There's a motion and second. Please vote.
Motion approved, 5-0.
Thank you. Item number 6, staff recommends City Council approve a purchase order to Olaf Ford in the amount of $159,552 for a new vehicle to replace the large bookmobile for the Library and Cultural Arts Department. Approve a purchase order to Workhorse Graphics in the amount of $9,999 for a custom full vinyl wrap of the vehicle, and authorize the Financial Services Director or designee to execute the purchase orders upon receipt of all supporting documents. And that is Mr. Chapinski. Did you just want to say ditto?
You know, this is the same situation. The money going out everywhere, but not a drop to drink. Cold water anyway. So let's start looking at some other priorities, like your citizens. Gee whiz, what a thought that is. To take care of some of the elderly, the seniors, some of the older veterans that like to try to get some of their muscle mass back in their body. And I know you'll look into it, Mayor. I know you'll check it out, and you'll find out we really could use one of those little machines. They're really, really good machines. So thank you very much. I do appreciate all that you do for us. And, you know, I was supposed to be in Arkansas. I know you're shocked to see me. I was supposed to take that homeless veteran to Arkansas, where she bought an acre of land and she got her tiny home, and we're going to drive her to Arkansas. Well, because she was born in Holland, I guess they thought she was a sniper or something. So at 12 years of age, anyway, so getting her real ID was difficult. And getting her brand new truck smog because it was diesel. And then me trying to find safe parking. Oh, buddy, all my teeth are gone. Safe parking, but guess what? Who said that? This is my buddy, Martin Luther King Jr. Free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, I am free at last. You know, I've been sleeping really good lately because all 3 of my vehicles are safe from the police and the code enforcement people towing them away at $1,000 a pop. Man, A1 storage is great. Doggone a church that I won't name because I don't want to get them in trouble.
Can we talk to the item?
Yeah, so we need to go ahead and put our money in a decent place for older people and not be spending it on toys.
Thank you very much. I'm going to go ahead and move approval. Is there a second? There's a motion and a second. Please vote.
Motion approved, 5-0.
Thank you. Item number 16, staff recommends City Council accept and appropriate a grant award from the Regional Task Force on Homelessness in the amount of $106,500 to support the city's homeless diversion services. And that is
Mr. Chapinski.
Mr. Chapinski.
I've only been homeless for 10 years. I used to live at 1606 Kurtz in Oceanside for 27 years. But this doggone diversion services, we at Brother Benno's never heard of it. We on the street never heard of it. Support the diversion services. We'd like to know more about that. We down at the bottom floor, we that sleep in the bushes or we that sleep in our vehicles, we'd like to know more about the diversion services that are getting all this money. Just the other day, a little old lady in her 80s had her car taken away from her, and now she's on the street. I don't know how that's a diversion, but I wish some of this money would start hitting some of the homeless down there. I have folks here that are homeless as well. They're with me tonight, and they'd like to know where some of this money's going. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm going to go ahead and move approval. Is there a second? Deputy Mayor Joyce?
I was going to ask for a little bit more information on this, just for the public's record. I know this is expended by the end of the year. And maybe Mr. Chapinski, it helps to understand that this funding is to prevent folks from getting into homelessness. So it would be a program that wouldn't be familiar for folks that are already in that space. I just didn't know if staff wanted to provide any more context.
You're absolutely correct, Deputy Mayor Joyce. This funding is to support a variety of services that are provided by our service partners, and we can certainly have Housing and Neighborhood Services staff reach out to Mr. Chapinski and provide some additional detail.
Thank you. There's a motion and a second. Please vote.
Motion approved, 5-0.
Thank you. Item number 24, staff recommends City Council adopt a resolution supporting the Southern California Coast and Ocean Protection Act, which is HR 2862, which would prevent new leasing for the exploration, development, or production of oil or natural gas along the Southern California coast. Mr. Borrego, this is a city manager item.
Honorable Mayor and council members, I'll keep my presentation very short. Our office was recently contacted by the Office of Representative Mike Levin, seeking City Council support of the Southern California Coast and Ocean Protection Act, known as HR 2862. The act, which is sponsored by Representative Levin and currently co-sponsored by 22 other congressional representatives, would prevent new leasing for the exploration, development, or production of oil or natural gas along the Southern California coast. And a full copy of the legislation was attached to the staff report. The city's current legislative platform, which was adopted in 2020, and also included as an attachment to the staff report, contains the following language under Section 7, titled Coastal Protection and Enhancement. And that language in the current legislative platform reads, oppose legislation that would permit offshore oil leasing or drilling along the Southern California coast. Staff understands the proposed legislation to be consistent with the city's legislative platform and therefore recommends City Council endorsement of HR 2862 per the resolution which is attached to the staff report.
Thank you. And I understand that Salome Tosh, the district director for Congressman Mike Levin, is here to answer any questions. Councilmember Weiss?
Move approval, staff recommendation.
Thank you. I'll go ahead and second that. Any other comments?
We do have public on this item.
Okay, apologies. How many people do we have? One, okay. And it is Salome, yeah.
Honorable Mayor and City Council, nice to see you all. As the mayor mentioned, my name is Salome Tash, and I'm the district director for Congressman Mike Levin. I'm here before you tonight because the Trump administration recently announced it was opening up our coastline to new offshore oil drilling. Offshore drilling puts our communities at direct risk of toxic spills that threaten our public health, harm marine life, destroy habitat, and jeopardize an economy that generates tens of billions of dollars each year. Coastal communities do not want this, and Democrats do not want this, Republicans do not want this, and that's why the congressman introduced the Southern California Coast and Ocean Protection Act to fully ban new drilling off our coastline. Cities throughout the district have stood together and endorsed this legislation because protecting our coast is common sense. I strongly encourage the City of Oceanside to join this effort and protect our local beaches and economy. Thank you.
Especially our tourism, right? And our surfing culture and all the other things that we do in the water. So Deputy Mayor Joyce?
I just want to thank staff for bringing this forward. I think it's critical that when we have actions like this that are taken by the federal government, that we stand up and say, our city does not want this unequivocally. The risk far outweighs the potential benefits in the short term. The risk of the long-term damage to our ecosystems and the way of life that we all know and love is far too great. So I will be supporting this, and I'm so thankful for staff for bringing it forward.
Thank you. There's a motion and a second. Please vote.
Motion approved, 5-0.
Thank you. On to general items. Item number 21. Staff recommends City Council award a contract to Burtech Pipeline, Inc. in the amount of $27,061,128 for the construction of the downtown water and sewer replacement Phase 2 project. Authorize the city engineer to execute change orders up to 15% of the construction contract amount for a total authorized construction budget of $31,120,297. Approve a professional services agreement with Unico Engineering of a not-to-exceed amount of $5,035,276 to provide construction management and inspection services for the project, and authorize the city manager or designee to execute the agreement upon receipt of all supporting documents. We have a presentation by Senior Civil Engineer Neil Irani.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and council members. Thanks for having me tonight. My name is Neil Irani. I'm a Senior Civil Engineer for the Utilities Department, and I am the Project Manager for the Downtown Water and Sewer Phase 2 Replacement Project. Staff recommends that City Council award a contract to Burtech Pipeline in the amount of over $27 million for the construction of the Downtown Water and Sewer Replacement Phase 2 project. Authorize the city engineer to approve change orders up to 15% of the original contract value. Approve a professional services agreement with Unico Engineering in a not to exceed amount of over $5 million to provide construction management and inspection services. And authorize the city manager to execute the agreements upon receipt of all supporting documents. Here is a project map of the work location. Blue is potable water replacement. Green lines are sewer replacement. And the purple lines are new recycled water main expansion. This project is the second of a 5 planned phase program for water and sewer replacement in the downtown area. This project includes over 3 miles of sewer main replacement, over 2.5 miles of water main replacement, and nearly a mile of new recycled water main expansion. 6 bids were received and opened for the construction of the project. After our analysis, Burtech Pipeline was the lowest responsive and responsible bidder. Also included in this item is we had a request for proposal seeking qualified consultants for construction management and inspection services. We received 7 proposals. Unico Engineering was determined to be the most qualified. Public outreach and coordination is a major component of this project. The selected CM team will have a PR consultant under contract. The city will invest heavily to notify residents and businesses of upcoming construction throughout the project duration. The city has also invested a lot of time in coordinating with local community organizations to develop restrictions in our bid documents to protect residents and local businesses in the area. This table details the fiscal impact of the project. Construction contract and 15% contingency is over $31 million. The professional services agreement is over $5 million. The project will be funded through the next 3 fiscal years. Funding from the project comes from the Water Fixed Asset Replacement Fund, Sewer Fixed Asset Replacement Fund, and a portion of the recycled water will be funded by state grants in an amount of $717,000. To summarize staff's recommendations, we recommend awarding a contract to Burtech Pipeline for construction of the project, authorizing the city engineer to approve change orders up to 15%, awarding a professional services agreement to Unico Engineering, and authorizing the city manager to execute the agreements. Thank you, and I'm available for any questions.
Thank you. Do we have any requests to speak from the public?
We have no request to speak.
All right. I'll go ahead and move approval. Is there a second? Okay, there's a motion and second. Please vote.
Motion approved, 5-0.
Thank you. And item number 22.
Thank you.
Is staff recommends the City Council approve Amendment 2 to the Professional Services Agreement with joint venture of Orion Construction Corporation and TC Construction Company, Inc. in the amount of $28,354,848 to procure materials for the conveyance, pipelines, and lift station for a total contract amount not to exceed $38,801,129 for the progressive design build of the Oceanside Mesa Garrison Lift Station and Force Main, Mission Avenue Force Main replacement, and land outfall replacement project. Appropriate funds as indicated and authorize the city manager or his designee to execute the amendment. We have with us today Water Engineering Manager Mabel Uyeda. Ms. Uyeda?
Good evening, Honorable Mayor, City Council members, Mabel Uyeda, Water Engineering Manager. This item is to request approval for Amendment 2 for the city's progressive design build agreement with Orion Construction and TC Construction. The amendment authorizes early procurement of major materials for the sewer conveyance and lift station project prior to full construction authorization. This is a strategic action that takes advantage of the progressive design build delivery method to control cost, schedule, market volatility for the project. Staff is recommending the following 3 action items tonight. Approval of Amendment 2 in the amount of $28.35 million for early procurement of materials. Appropriate funds as indicated, and authorize the city manager or designee to execute the amendment. If approved, the total not to exceed contract amount would be $38.8 million, which for the project. The following is the map of the progressive design build components that are generally from north to south. That includes the Oceanside Mesa Garrison lift station, as well as the force main and the replacement of 2 existing pipelines. The east-west component is for the Buccaneer lift station and force main, and that will follow. And in order for the Buccaneer lift station to be completed and to decommission the La Salina, the downstream components will need to be constructed first. The city awarded a progressive design build project back in May 2022, and it included both the team of the designer as well as the contractor. And the delivery method allows the project to move forward in phases. Phase 1 was approved by City Council for approximately $7.5 million and included the design. Phase 2 would be the construction and can occur in multiple early procurement packages like this one. Council has already seen the benefit of this early work of this approach with Amendment 1 back in December of 2023. It allowed the design and construction of the pipeline segments in the Cypress Point development to be constructed ahead of the full construction project. This, as you can see in the top photo, that's the 50-plus unit residential development that was recently completed. The photo below was the city's CIP sewer pipelines. We went in ahead of the residential development. And this allowed all of the impacts to new pavement, landscaping, and minimize disruptions to the new neighborhood, ultimately reducing the cost to our ratepayers. Tonight's action for the Amendment 2 for the early procurement package focuses solely on just the purchase of major materials, including the large diameter pipe, valves, and fittings. This is being requested to lock in pricing to avoid long lead times and maintain momentum while the program EIR is being finalized, as well as the federal funding through a WIFIA loan. Importantly, this amendment does not authorize construction. It only secures the materials needed for the next phase. The following table shows the fiscal impact. Project purchase for the materials is $28 million. It shows a breakdown of the different project components as part of the progressive design build. It will be funded through our sewer fund for the majority of the project components are sewer. There is a water main replacement where it will be in conflict, and that is the older material, so we're taking advantage of replacing that pipeline as part of this project. Funding will also come from, as I mentioned, the US EPA. With the loan, we received notice of award, and we're working on the loan issuance documents right now. And in addition, we are receiving approximately $1 million from the state through an IRWM grant for a segment of the pipeline. Staff recommends, in closing, staff recommends approval of Amendment 2. This action positions the city to deliver sewer infrastructure facilities efficiently while managing costs, schedule, and risk. I'm available for any questions.
Thank you, Ms. Uyeda. Do we have any requests to speak from the public?
We do not.
All right. Go ahead and move approval. Is there a second? Okay, there's a motion and a second. Please vote.
Motion approved, 5-0.
Thank you. I'm going to go to the mayor and our council member items. I have recommendations for appointments to for council liaisons to boards, commissions, committees, also recommendation for deputy mayor, and also regional boards and committees. I do have a change that I want to move forward on right now, and that is to change Parks and Rec liaison to Councilmember Figueroa, and CRC, I'll go ahead and take that. Is there, are there any requests to speak from the public?
There is none.
There are none. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and move approval. Is there a second? Okay, there's a motion and second. Please vote.
It's not working right now, but motion is approved, 5-0.
Thank you. I'm going to go to item number 28. Under adoption of ordinances, item number 28, staff recommends City Council adopt an ordinance amending Article 14, Section 14.1 of the Oceanside Traffic Code by establishing various new speed limits on streets identified in Table A, which is on Attachment A. It was introduced on December 3rd, 2025, with a 5-0 vote approval.
Move adoption.
There's a motion to move adoption. Is there a second? Thank you. Please title the ordinance. Oh, are there any requests to speak from the public?
None.
Thank you.
This is the second reading and adoption of an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Oceanside, amending Article 14, Section 14 and 14.1 of the Oceanside Traffic Code by the addition and changes of various subsections to establish speed limits on various streets. Thank you.
Thank you. Please vote.
Motion approved, 5-0.
Thank you. Item number 29, staff recommends that the City Council adopt an ordinance for zone amendment, that is ZA 24-0001, to change the zoning designation of approximately 7 acres of APN 16202002600 from public semi-public to planned development. This was introduced on December 3rd, 2025, with an approval vote of 5-0. Are there any requests to speak from the public?
There are no requests to speak.
All right. Councilmember Weiss?
Move adoption.
There's a motion and a second. Please title the ordinance.
Thank you. This is the second reading and adoption of an ordinance of the City of Oceanside amending the zoning designation for certain real property located at 333 Garrison Street from public semi-public to planned development. Garrison Zone Amendment ZA 24-0001.
Thank you. Please vote.
Motion approved, 5-0.
Thank you. Number 25, this is under public communications on off-agenda items. Under advanced written requests to reserve time to speak, we have Arlene Hammerschmidt. Ms. Hammerschmidt, you have up to 5 minutes.
Presentations are 10 minutes, advanced written requests to speak.
Hi, good evening, Honorable City Council, Arlene Hammerschmidt. Thank you for this time. Has everyone heard this phrase, that dog bark is all bark and no bite? It's a perfect description for our code of ethics for elected and appointed officials, which has no official teeth. Therefore, it's left to the community watchdogs to apply the bite. Please place this item on a city council agenda before April. Discussion of the code of ethics and direction to staff for recommendations to improve its effectiveness. If it worked, this presentation would not be necessary. On November 3rd, Mr. Wilson Godinez, myself, Wayne Godinez, Paul Pow, James Greer, Sheldon Brown, Raquel Alvarez, and Madeline Lee filed an official ethics complaint against the mayor, which contained in part, we ask that the mayor recuse and remove herself from council chambers for this entire council agenda item, to approve amendments to the Parks and Recreation Department rental package, including the classification guide and user fee schedule, to be publicly censored by City Council for these breaches of the Code of Ethics. And this is what happened. On September 30th, 2025, during the special meeting of the Parks and Recreation Commission, the mayor, 1, failed to remain impartial on 2 issues that City Council would vote on. There was no doubt in the room how the mayor wanted this commission to vote. The mayor used her position to unduly influence the vote of the commission on 3 separate agenda items, naming a skate park, Parks and Rec rental package, and dissolving the standing committee. She did not correct the secretary's introduction as Mayor Esther Sanchez or the chair's reference to her as Madam Mayor. She never stated that she was speaking only as an individual representing herself. She appeared to intimidate one specific commissioner by saying with an oddly loud voice and smile, "So close, one more vote," while staring directly at that commissioner. The mayor meddled in Parks and Recreation Department business by urging the commission to vote to dissolve the Parks and Recreation Commission's standing committee. And I was misinformed. I thought that this was a 10-minute time period, not 5. There are 2 YouTube videos that account and demonstrate these incidents, which I will post on social media. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much. Item number, what's the next one? Item number 26, and that is public communications on off-agenda items. Not on this. So how many people do we have on that?
We currently have 7 individuals.
Okay, let's go ahead and get started. 3 minutes each.
Okay. Our first speaker is Diane Riley, to be followed by Betty Young, to be followed by Leo Chapinski.
Ms. Riley?
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor Sanchez, members of the City Council, and staff. My name is Diane Riley, and I live at 5497 Albright Street, directly adjacent to the proposed Guahomie Lake Homes project. The Guahomie Lake Homes proposed development has major EIR deficiencies. The developer has been granted 7 waivers. Those waivers eliminate critical setbacks, evacuation space, and infrastructure margins next to Guahomie Regional Park and existing neighborhoods. Dense housing creates radiant heat chains where homes ignite without flame contact. The EIR does not analyze evacuation timing, emergency access, or whether fire engines can operate while residents are fleeing. This is considered a life safety failure under CEQA. Additionally, the project relies on a single 8-horse pump station next to an existing home, pushing sewage 3,000 feet uphill around 2 blind corners with no redundancy. When that system fails through power loss, mechanical failure, or maintenance, raw sewage will be surfacing on neighborhood properties and flow directly into Guahomie Regional Park and its creeks. The EIR does not analyze or address potential failure or the public health consequences. The city will potentially face lawsuits, the cleanup costs, and the accountability if evacuation fails, if fire spreads, or if human waste contaminates the park. I do question the process of the previous city planner due to the fact escrow closed even before the DEIR was submitted. This proposed project contains critical safety and health threats that are inadequately addressed in the EIR, as mentioned before, that are very concerning. I've been a resident over there for over 57 years, so I have a lot of history with the area, so it's very important to me. But I appreciate being allowed to speak tonight, and I thank you for your time and your patience.
Thank you. Betty Young, followed by Leo Chapinski.
Good afternoon. Happy holidays to all the City
Happy
Council.
holiday.
My name is Betty Young. I live at 1307 Breeze Street on the east side. Mayor, I met you at a meeting 2 months ago at Balderrama Park, and I asked you a question. What are you going to do about the EV bikes and children? You said you hadn't thought about that yet. Well, Sunday, December the 7th, I was sitting in church and I heard a man died because of a 7-year-old that didn't know the rules of the road. Well, I wanted to know, have you decided to do anything now? Carlsbad has, Encinitas has, for children under 12 years old riding EV bikes. I've had my own experience with them, and I wanted to protect them and keep them safe as well as adults. And also, I want to tell you that I am one of your constituents, and I would love the Front Wave Arena to be named after you. You've done so much for this city, and I'm so proud of you being a woman and a Latino first in office, and I think something should be done to honor you here. And I thank the City Council for your listening to me, and I've been here an Oceanside resident for 57 years, and I thank you, and have a happy holiday.
Thank you, Ms. Young, and thank you. We have our chief who is here who would love to talk to you outside, if you would. He is actually, I don't remember exactly what I said, but the chief has been working on bringing something to the council, and so if you'd like to go ahead and speak with him, I invite you to do that. Thank you very much. And it does sound like the item will be on the next agenda, which will be January 14th. Mr. Chapinski.
Hey, Mayor, City Council, I apologize for going off script last time when I saw those millions of dollars floating around the city, but no water to drink. I'm thinking something's not right, so I apologize for that. You know, I have a traumatic brain injury. I served in 2 wars, and I feel sorry for that poor Democrat senator out in Pennsylvania who's got a traumatic brain injury like me. On his first, when he was first elected, he said, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, thank you. And then he walked off stage, and I'm thinking, yep, that's TBI. That's what happens to us. So the bottom line is, I think that lady, the lady Betty that just left, I think she's absolutely right. We need to name something after you. Easy now. No, I'm not going there. I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking, Eric, but no, I'm going to be nice. I think we should name the next or first veteran housing project for homeless veterans after you. Once you decide to help homeless veterans, it would look nice. I could see your name up there. I'd be proud to enter those doors and salute the flag and see that my homeless veterans are taken care of. But yeah, I am free at last. I feel good without having people from the police department and the code enforcement tow away my vehicles and chase me around the city for 10 years. I feel real good. But I still have to get to Arkansas. And so I'm still trying to do that. It's very important that we end homelessness in this great city, if we consider it a great city. I've been here since '78. I ran for City Council of Oceanside in '81, I believe it was. Just the other day, this poor little old lady, now she's living on the street somewhere just because we took her car. We don't need to take people's cars because it's their, and forgive me with that TBI, I always have to write stuff down because habitat, this was her habitat. This is where she lived. This was her house. This was her home. And now she's living on the street somewhere with other people, along with all the drug users out there, robbing people and stealing from them and stuff. But living standard, trust me, the people on the street don't have much of a living standard. They just really don't, and they need help. Porta potties, during COVID, it was tough. All these little girls, well, all the girls, all the women that needed to go to the bathroom late at night, there was nowhere to go. There's nowhere to go. People coming into town now from these cities where there's lots of snow, they're coming into Brother Benno's. I'm hearing them, I'm seeing them. They're here because it's warm and there's food. Unfortunately, there's nowhere to leave that food late at night, if you know what I mean. So if we could provide something for our homeless, that'd be really nice. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It is the top of the hour, 6 o'clock, a little after 6. We need to stop and address our public hearing items. We do have one of them. Then we'll come back to our remaining speakers on items not on the agenda. So let me go ahead and call item number 23. That is staff recommends City Council, number 1, conduct the public hearing under the requirements of Tax and Equity Fiscal Responsibility Act, that's TEFRA, and the Internal Revenue Code of 1986 as amended. And number 2, adopt a resolution approving the issuance of qualified 501c3 bonds as defined in Section 145 of the Internal Revenue Code of 1986 by CMFA for the benefit of Maple Housing Foundation, who is the borrower, in an aggregate principal amount not to exceed $105 million. The bonds, for the purpose of financing or refinancing the acquisition, rehabilitation, improvement, and equipping of Sunterra multifamily rental housing located at 3851 Sherborne Drive within the City of Oceanside. I'm going to go ahead and open this public hearing and request disclosure from fellow council members regarding constituent contacts and our correspondence.
Staff only.
Staff. Staff only.
City manager only.
Staff only.
Thank you. Mr. Navarro, do we have any correspondence and or petitions?
We do not have any correspondence or petition on this item.
Thank you. We're going to go ahead and begin with a presentation by Senior Management Analyst Salvador Roman, who works for the City of Oceanside Housing and Neighborhood Services Department. Mr. Roman.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor and City Council. I'm here a little bit different capacity, and you will be having me present on the item before you today. So as the Mayor mentioned, my name is Salvador Roman. I am a Senior Management Analyst with the Housing and Neighborhood Services Department. Tonight, I am also joined with Harry Burgess and Jared Suzuki. Hopefully, I didn't mess up the names too bad. Jared Suzuki is with the California Municipal Finance Authority. The public hearing item before you today is a federally required public hearing under the Tax and Equity Fiscal Responsibility Act, commonly referred as TEFRA. The TEFRA plan would be, today you're going to, sorry, let me start over. I'm trying to stick to the script this time. The California Municipal Finance Authority, or CMFA, is going to be issuing a tax-exempt bond to 501c3. That is what's going before you today for approval. So going to the synopsis and the recommendation, today we're asking council for two things. One is to hold a public hearing, which we're here today, and the second one is to approve the resolution which would support the finance plan. Support the finance plan that through the California Municipal Finance Authority, the issuer of the tax exempt revenue bond in the amount not to exceed $105 million to finance or refinance the acquisition, rehab, and improvement of the equipment at the Sunterra multifamily rental housing project located at 3851 Sherbourne Drive, from here on out referred to as the project. City Council, it is requested to consider the adoption of the resolution approving the issuance of the such bond financing. So a little bit about the project, the Sunterra project. It is an already existing multifamily rental community located approximately 1 mile from Maricosta College. The address again is 3851 Sherbourne Drive. The project is an acquisition and conversion of existing market rate rental property, using tax-exempt bond financing to support the affordability commitments tied to that financing. In total, the community consists of 240 units. The affordability commitments for this project is 75% of the units will be restricted as affordable to lower income households earning 80% of AMI or less. The project proposal will also meet the affordability requirement of at least 40% of the units restricted to lower income and households of 60% AMI or less. The proposed finance will support, like I mentioned before, the acquisitions of the and improvement of the existing property. These improvements are intended to preserve the long-term viability of the community while maintaining housing affordability and enhancing the overall building conditions for the residents. It should be noted that since this does not involve bond tax credit financing, there is more flexibility in the rehab process and income qualification. At the time of acquisitions, tenants will be income qualified for eligibility of the lower income housing units. 25% of the units or 60 units will not be income rent restricted and will allow for flexibility of those existing tenants who do not qualify. However, if there are more existing tenants than the 60 unrestricted units that do not qualify, they still will not be displaced. And at the end of the presentation, I'll have the developer and or bond or the municipal authority to come up and answer the questions about the relocation if needed. As the bond issuer, monitoring compliance with income restrictions will not be the responsibility of CMFA, will be the responsibility of CMFA, correction. Renovations and rehab work will be done will take place at the turnover of the unit, and therefore there will be no displacements of tenants that are currently unit. This project will benefit the city in advancing its affordable housing goals and community by adding a large number of income-restricted units within the established residential neighborhood without the city providing financial or subsidy assistance. As I mentioned before, the The issuing authority is the California Municipal Finance Authority. It is a joint power authority formed to assist local governments, nonprofits, and private entities with the issuance of taxable and tax-exempt debt. The proposed bond issuance is the authorization requested for CMFA to issue up to $105 million in tax-exempt to the 501c3. Bond financing is a self-supporting program with the borrowers responsible for all the costs. The bonds are secured solely by private sources related to the development. The bonds do not constitute a debt or financial obligation of the city or CMFA. Neither the city or CMFA bears any legal, financial, or repayment responsibility. The transaction functions as a private loan between the borrower and its lender. Such adoption is solely for the purpose of satisfying the requirements of the TEFRA, the code, and the California Government Code Section 6500. This concludes the presentation today, and I'd be happy to entertain questions. I'll also ask Jared and Harry to join me for any potential questions that you may have.
All right, thank you. Before we ask questions, I'm going to see if we have any, this is a public hearing, if anyone signed up to speak on this item.
We have not had any speakers sign up.
All right. You did not have to sign up. If you wish, this is the time to hear from the public. If you wish to address the council on this specific item, please approach the podium, state your name for the record, and you have up to 3 minutes to speak.
Oh, I don't see the green light. Oh, there's my time. Erin Gilligan, 1241 Chambord Court. I'm really impressed with this kind of project. I'm really impressed that we're reaching out, and hopefully we should see more of this kind of projects happening through our city, especially for low income, and I'm hoping more apartments will see this as an opportunity in case they have empty apartments, or a certain amount of apartments that are empty that can go towards low-income families and things like that. So I approve this project. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to address the council on this very specific item? I see no one rising, so I'm going to go ahead and close this portion of the public hearing and go to the council. Councilmember Figueroa.
Thank you, Mayor. A few questions for staff or the borrower regarding this property. So I have a lot of history with the Centera apartments. When I was a kid, we called them Sherborne apartments. I grew up. I didn't live in those apartments, but I spent a lot of my childhood inside those apartments, lived down the street, and still have many loved ones that live inside these apartments. Have any of the residents been notified about what's taking place right now?
It's not been a public notice to those tenants, outside of this public hearing. Again, and when the acquisition does go through, it's going to be an income certification situation, but it's not going to be this is a notice. If you don't meet these income requirements, you are going to have to leave, anything to that effect. It's simply going to be the tenants that happen to make these income levels, and some of them will have existing rents that are above those rent limits. Those tenants will immediately benefit from those rental reductions to those rental restrictions if they meet these income qualifications. So for a lot of the existing tenants, it can be an immediate benefit. And again, this is not a tenant relocation. The advantage of this financing program is these aren't tax credits. This is not a light tech project, which means that there's no mandatory tenant relocation to get the project immediately into compliance. The plan and the business plan for this financing structure and for this project is to do the income certification on renewal. So when tenants, when we turn units, if someone naturally leaves, tenant turnover. We will be reserving those units for residents, potential future residents that meet these income thresholds. If those income thresholds are already met and those income buckets are already qualified, again, these can be rented to market rate tenants as well. It's a nice blend of income levels, makes this a very attractive kind of financing structure without some of the stipulations of tax.
Sure. I think this is an outside-the-box approach. It definitely increases our affordable housing stock, and with the Olive Park project coming online in a couple of years, this will put us close to 400 affordable units just in that corridor right there in the Tri-City, College Boulevard, Thunder, Sherborne area.
Could I stop you just right there, Councilmember Figueroa? I think Ms. Hines wanted to add something at this point.
So I did, because just in relation to the question that you had posed related to residents knowing of the potential sale of the project, whether they know the potential sale or not. I think the developers in their due diligence, they're setting up their financing now. With your approval of the issuance of the bonds as they move forward, then they'll start that noticing period. But until all the financing is in place, it's still a little bit early to start notifying residents of the upcoming sale and the potential restrictions here until the financing is in place. That's anticipated to be at the end of December. So I would assume that in January, the first of the year, that noticing of the tenants will take place, and then we'll make our department also available to answer any questions or concerns that residents may have as it turns over and converted into affordable housing.
Thank you. That was a concern of mine, was what happens with the existing tenants. Knowing that the Centera apartments very well as I do, I know that a lot of the residents that live in there are low income. Just to provide context, a lot of our families from the east side and Crown Heights and Libby Lake and the Valley that have been displaced from those communities have found a home in the Centera apartments as being one of our informal, most affordable complexes in Oceanside. It's probably one of our largest apartment complexes in the city. And so it's good to hear that residents will not be displaced. I'm excited to see, and in all honesty, I'm excited to see that this came forward. But I do think that making sure that we connect with the residents, they do have a clubhouse in that space. But if a clubhouse is not available for them, these families attend Krista McAuliffe Elementary, Lincoln Middle School, El Camino High School, but even possibly doing something at McAuliffe, which maybe has a bigger venue space for these families. With the work that we're potentially going to be doing at Sepulveda Park right across the street, it's exciting. And so, that answers all my questions.
Councilmember Robinson.
Thank you. Just one question just came to mind when the amount of the bonds and the per unit cost. When you're doing the repairs and the work, is it subject to prevailing wage laws and things like that? Because is there federal money involved, I guess, or?
That's a good question. This isn't a JPA project, so I don't believe prevailing wages are involved for this. Again, it's not the amount of the rehab is not the substantial amount of a tax credit deal where there is a minimum of, this was an acquisition rehab deal. In that capacity, it would be $60,000 a unit. So it is much smaller. I would have to double check, but I don't believe.
Yeah, it's fine. You don't have to do anything else on it. I was just more of a curiosity. And the other thing is, does this improve our RENA numbers? Is there any benefit to our RENA numbers in this?
Ms. Hines?
Sure. With the rent restrictions, it would count towards our RENA obligations.
Deputy Mayor Joyce?
So how long is the agreement to keep these at affordable rates?
So I believe the minimum time in the regulatory agreement will be the lifespan of the bonds, and the lesser of the lifespan of the bonds, 15 years. I believe it's the minimum time.
Okay.
50?
15.
1.5.
1.5.
And then the obligation to keep these at income restriction, is that maintained if the project is then sold after the improvements are done?
It doesn't have to be. As soon as if the project is sold prior to the expiration of the regulatory agreement, those requirements will have to remain. If it's after the expiration of the regulatory agreements, those will not have to remain. So it's depending on.
Is there a time frame that you have to get? So you were saying that you have more flexibility than other projects because of the type of financing it's going through. So my question is, how long before you have to get into the before you have to get the project to 75% affordable? Is there a time frame that the company will need to reach that milestone, or is it before 15 years?
No, it's generally about a 1 year time frame. I think it's the grace period amount. Now, I will say at the property, as Mr. Figueroa indicated, there is a large number of tenants that we're starting our due diligence process. We believe will meet some of these qualifications, and so we don't expect to be an onerous transition. Expect that timeline to be pretty easily achievable, but it is typically about 1 year.
Okay, so when you said the natural changeover, you meant at least renewal times on a year? That would be when people would be notified that they either fit within the 75% or not?
Yeah, so when they're doing their lease renewal, they'll know first that they meet those tenant qualifications. But again, when I say the natural turnover, it's more so when a tenant moves out of the area, chooses not to renew that lease, that vacant unit will be reserved for those income.
Okay. I guess, okay, that's all my questions.
Okay, Deputy Mayor Joyce? Excuse me, Deputy Mayor Figueroa.
Councilman.
Councilmember Figueroa.
When are
All
we
right,
looking?
it's one of
When
those
are we
days.
look? Oh, sorry, no, when are we looking for timeline? I know that Ms. Hines just said that residents would be notified at the beginning of the year, but what are we looking at as far as like timeline?
In terms of for the timeline on the closing on the acquisition, again, it is a little bit dependent on the financing here today. But the timeline on the transition, I believe the closing date is in February.
Okay.
All right, I did have a couple of questions. I did reach out to staff on this and asked a few questions, like, for example, will any tenants lose their housing? And I understand this would be done in phases, so no one will be losing any of their housing, that's correct?
Yeah, no one will be relocated or losing.
Okay. And I also understand that this building specifically has changed hands over the years. So this is a relatively, you bought this, or the owner has owned this just for a few years, is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. So have any of the units, when first built, were any of the units designated as affordable?
When the building was first built, I'm not 100% certain. I don't believe so. I know
Okay.
they're not currently reserved, either by the prior owner or the owner prior to that.
Okay, so at this time, none of the units are affordable under the definition of the law.
That's correct. There are no current rent restrictions on the property or recorded.
Okay.
It is more of our lower cost housing in the
Right.
community, but not by the definition of where they're deed restricted.
And how old is this apartment building? It's part of a number of
1974.
buildings, right?
1974.
Yeah.
Okay. But there have been other renovations.
Correct. There've been renovations by, both of the previous owners. As you mentioned, this has changed hands a few times in the last decade, and it has benefited from some of the capital improvements done by each of those ownership groups. So, a large number of the units are renovated. There's been renovations to the amenities, likewise items. There does remain some for maintenance and some other capital projects outstanding, but it has received the benefit of the turnover and ownership.
Thank you. And again, what is before us right now is just the bonds request. And this is not a City of Oceanside project, and we're not liable at any time for these funds. But in terms of this designation, at least 20% must be occupied by households with incomes at or below 50% of the area median income. That is $82,700 for a family of four. And at least 75% of units in the project must be occupied by households with incomes at or below 80% of AMI, which is $132,400 for a family of four. And what I'm hearing is that is, once it is done, it is only for a period of 15 years. Is that correct? Is that what I'm hearing?
I believe that's a minimum time.
Minimum.
But I would have to double check. But I think the minimum time is 50.
Yeah, I thought it was more than that.
1.5.
Under the laws of the bond, I
So
thought it was
this-
more than just 15 years.
Sure. So I apologize because I am used to the bond tax credit world, and in the bond tax credit financing, it's 55 years. This is tax exempt bond financing, but
Okay.
it's 501c3. It's not going through the competitive process. So the rules and the regulations related to this program specifically are IRS regulations versus our California Debt Limit Allocation Committee rules and regulations. And so the time period that we're talking about is basically 15 years is the minimum, or to the extent the bonds are still outstanding. So if the bonds have not been repaid in 20 years, then the agreements are still in play. But as long as those bonds
Okay.
are there, it's affordable.
And is there a possibility or potential for extending that time period to 30, 40 years?
Because we are not the conduit bond issuer, that is a term between the bank, the lender, and the
Right.
bond issuer here, yes.
Okay. All right, thank you. Councilmember Robinson?
Thank you. I just want to move staff's recommendation.
All right, Deputy Mayor Joyce?
Do we have any role in monitoring this whatsoever?
Again, because we are not providing any direct financial subsidy, we are not the conduit bond issuer, and so the City of Oceanside has no liability for the financing and no liability or place in the monitoring for compliance. The compliance would be monitored solely by the bond issuer CMFA.
So let's say, for instance, a resident needed to advocate that the rules were not being followed. Who would they go to?
Then they would go to the developer, the project owner, or to the bond issuer CMFA.
Okay.
Councilmember Weiss?
I'll second the motion.
All right, there is a motion and a second, and no other comments at the dais. Okay, Councilmember Figueroa? Could you put your
microphone?
mic on?
Sorry, thank you. For the info session, will the city be a part of that, or are we not involved in that either?
So certainly, while we're not involved in the direct financing here, we have a relationship with CMFA. CMFA does the majority of all bond issuances throughout the state, and we do have a relationship with them. That is certainly something that we can maintain that relationship and request to be a part of any of the informal meetings or assist in the conversion of the project.
Yeah, I think that would be, I would very much like, I would like to be there as well.
Thank you. So fair housing is something that the housing department is involved in, fair housing laws.
That's correct.
So in that vein, that is how the city would be involved if there were to be a complaint.
Yes, certainly. And with all of our developments, when there are complaints by residents, whether they're appropriately sent to code enforcement or if there are issues with tenant-landlord issues or complaints such as that, we'll make every effort to reach out to the property owner, whether we have responsibility or not, to resolve some of those issues.
And we would also be able to refer to state fair housing.
That is correct.
Okay, all right, thank you. Deputy Mayor Joyce?
I just say that this is another one of those situations that just reminds us how the complicated web of affordable housing that's going on in our city right now, how it's not just a single project full of affordable housing, but this is 75%, the other 15, this is 10. We just have a need of providing support to folks who are receiving these, because even last week, we got notices of rent increases in affordable housing that we currently have that are questionable, that we're looking into. So it's a tangled web that I think we need to be very careful of letting go unmonitored.
Thank you. Understanding that none of these units are currently regarded as affordable, this is certainly going to be beneficial to have affordable units for the minimum 15 years and potentially for more than that. So thank you. There is a motion and a second, and that is to adopt the resolution. Please vote.
Motion approved, 5-0.
Thank you. And we're going to go back to public communications on off-agenda items. We left off at after Mr. Chapinski, so we are next on Kim Miller. Rugen? Followed by Heather DeGran, followed by Robert Colpie.
Ready?
Yes.
Hi.
Thank you.
I'd like to comment on the Guahomie Lake Homes project. I'd like to share a comment that you, Mayor Sanchez, made during a recent city council meeting. You said, "We don't sacrifice one community for another." By removing the equestrian overlay in the proposed area, you're going one step further. You're sacrificing the protections of the equestrian community in their own community in order to introduce this new development. You're forcing the hundreds of equestrians within this community to make sacrifices within their own community. You're ignoring the safety of people that live in this community. Would you like it if your neighborhood that you searched to live in and enjoy was all of a sudden rezoned and heavily populated? Has there even been a traffic study to see how this would impact Vista? You're assuming that just because the dirt road is on the left that heads to Vista, and it's a paved road on the right that heads into Oceanside, that people aren't going to take a left and buzz through the equestrian neighborhood in Vista. Do you realize that Guahomie Lake Road dead ends at a neighborhood intersection that doesn't even have a stop sign? Many equestrians from Vista ride Guahomie Lake Road to access the trails at Guahomie Park. The addition of these cars buzzing through a quiet neighborhood is an accident waiting to happen. I think there might have been an accident just recently. In addition to this being a major safety issue for equestrians, cyclists, and the high school track teams that use this road to access the park, I'd like to point out another topic, the Oceanside Land Bank, or the lack thereof. Back in October, during the North County Mayor Forum, Mayor Sanchez also said that Oceanside has already exceeded its goals for building moderate and market rate housing, but is still working to meet its affordable unit goals. The Guahomie Lake project is only slated to provide 4 additional affordable units within their design. I'm sure you could easily add 4 units to another project that would be more conducive to the city living as well as closer to mass transit, maybe like the one that was just presented. I would like to urge the City Council to stop this project and take the time to create a mitigation land bank for Oceanside. This piece of property is a rare gem that should not be turned into a housing development. It should complement and support its surroundings. It should continue to be a wildlife corridor that allows animals to travel safely and live as they have for many years. Consider making this property your first property within the Oceanside Land Bank. Consider adding it to Guahomie Park for the entire community to enjoy. As it stands now, the land mitigation for this project will be given to Carlsbad because Oceanside doesn't have an established land bank. One more sentence. Oceanside, you are doing your community a disservice by not taking the time to create a land bank and protect the natural environment of your own city. Please be true to your word and support the community that you represent. The Guahomie Park area is a gem that should not be lost. Thanks for your time.
Thank you. Heather DeGrand, followed by Robert Culpi, followed by Aaron Morin.
Good evening. My name is Heather DeGrand, and I'm here to speak about Housing First in Oceanside. Oceanside says it tackles homelessness with outreach teams, shelters, housing, vouchers, landlord incentives, safe parking, even motel programs. But when I reach out to outreach teams, I'm told hotel vouchers don't exist. When I ask about Housing First, I'm told shelters are the only option. There's a crack in the system. Either these programs are not being offered equally, or they're being used selectively. On paper, Oceanside believes in Housing First. In practice, people like me living on curbs in unsafe conditions are excluded. Instead of spending millions clearing encampments, the city should use these funds to make Housing First real forever. If Oceanside truly believes in Housing First, then it must stand on that belief, not just in grants, press releases, but in the services actually offered to every unhoused resident. Living in other unsafe, inhumane conditions on sidewalks, in bushes, or on curbs, and who aren't in encampments. Housing First cannot only exist in encampments. It must exist whenever people are surviving in unsafe, inhumane conditions. If Oceanside advertises hotel vouchers and Housing First programs, then those services should be offered to everyone who reaches out. If they are no longer exist, the public information must be updated. Otherwise, it misleads the community and leaves unhoused residents without real options. Can the city clarify which programs are actually available right now and commit to updating public information so the community isn't misled? Thank you.
Thank you. And Ms. DeGrand, our Assistant City Manager is here in the back, Michael Gossman. He's happy to speak with you outside.
Okay. Thank you.
I think we may have missed Ms. Hines, who is our Housing Director. I don't think she's out there, but he's happy to speak with you if you would like to find out about our programs.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. How do you pronounce your last name, sir? Okay, Culpi. I was, going here, there.
No,
Sorry about that.
Better than most. I appreciate your time, everyone. I'm here to speak in opposition to the Guahomie Lake project, like some of my community members were saying before. I'll start off by seconding what they were saying, both that the public utilities are not set up to handle this, both the sewage as well as the rest of the infrastructure, particularly the road right there. I live right by that community. I drive by this property every day on my way to work. It is an inherently dangerous road that is windy with plenty of blind turns. There was recently an accident there on Friday that, well, I don't know the details. I did see about 7 police cars there responding to what appeared to be a pretty serious crash. It is probably one of the worst areas that you could place a high-density development like this. It's taking away one of the last green spaces that we have here. Guahomie Lake is such a beautiful part of our community. It's appreciated by the equestrian community as well as many hikers and bikers, local birders as well too. And this is one of the beautiful last green spaces that we have in Oceanside. That'd be such a tragedy to see go. There's a prominent natural corridor that goes from Guahomie Lake to surrounding creeks that would get blocked off by this development. And I'll also highlight this is one of the worst places you could build as far as public transportation. There is there's not a single business that you could walk to from this development on any safe sidewalk. There's no sidewalk along the 76 there. There's no sidewalk along Wahome Lake. The proposed plan does not connect any sidewalk to any business. It is only going to be increasing the traffic there, as well as diminishing the natural beauty of the area. And it's something that Oceanside, once it's gone, will never get back. So this is both for our generation, but also future generations, to protect this park for both the people living today, but also those in the future, because once this is gone, the city will never be able to get a green space like this back. So I just want to voice my strong opposition to this. I understand the need for housing. I just emphasize that that housing, as everyone knows, should be close to public transit, should be close to businesses to reduce traffic, to actually have the density where we need to have the density, and not density in a rural area with absolutely no connection and no utilities in the area that is going to have a major road there. To develop that Wahome Lake is going to be taking away a huge section of the park and detract from its beauty, as well as not make it safe for anyone to actually walk and use. So I just want to emphasize, please do not let this pass, because it's going to be a huge impact on the local community and all the residents there. Both the people that are here tonight, as well as those that can make it, have a strong opposition to this, and myself included. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Colby. Thank you. Aaron Moran? And I believe you're the last person to speak on items not on the agenda for 2025.
Yeah. Yay, me. I'm here to apologize for my email to council, because I saw December 3rd's meeting, and I was a little hesitant. I was a little afraid of what was going to happen. And as soon as I saw my neighbor, I was like, no, this can't be happening, from South Morrow Hills. And I was hesitant, and I had things on my mind, and I'm so sorry. I forgot to say, dear council and staff and mayor. So just want to tell you, I meant it to be nice, but I was kind of frazzled and frustrated. But anyways, I just want to say that the ag overlay will work in South Morrow Hills. I believe in it. I did send a copy of the coastal one. There's a coastal one in Carlsbad. They do have one, and I looked it over. It's very straightforward on development and these permits and other things that are in it. I want you, if you have time to look over it, or your staff members, please do. And I so do want to see this come up, because willy-nilly development should not be in South Morrow Hills. We should have a straightforward plan. And that's what I'm hoping for. I do believe in development, but I don't want willy-nilly. So, and I'm sure my neighbors don't want willy-nilly either. So anyways, just to give you a note, I apologize for my rushed email. And I hope we see this go forward. Thank you.
Thank you. We still have people in the audience, but we have nothing else. Is that correct, Mr. Navarro?
That is correct.
Okay, all right. So I don't see anybody raising their hand saying, no, you forgot to call me. So, all right. We're now under general council member comments. The last for 2025. Okay, Councilmember Figueroa is up first.
Yeah, just a few things. Tomorrow at Oceanside High School, Transformational Consultants TC and OPD will be hosting, I think, their 6th annual Holiday of Hope, 10th annual Holiday of Hope. It's a great event. It'd be great if all the council and anyone that's available to go. It's at Oceanside High School. I think it starts at 5:30.
5 to 7, I think,
Yeah,
right?
and it's a really, really emotional event. It's just heartwarming, and it's a great holiday event. They do it every year. Also on Monday, December 22nd from 2 to 4, the Oceanside Public Library will have their Adelante bookmobile at Joe Sepulveda Park, literally right across the street from Centera Apartments. They'll be doing holiday activities led by our library staff. I think they're going to have light refreshments, free books for the kids. doing more outreach in that Joseph Poveda Park area. So I'm really excited to see the library out there. And yeah, and there's a lot of holiday events this weekend in the community. I think Crown Heights, Libby Lake. So yeah, good stuff.
Thank you. Councilmember Robinson?
Thank you. I guess, last time of the year, I get to report a few things. I think we've all been to a number of holiday events, and I won't enumerate all those. But there were a couple really good things. The Christmas tree lighting on the 4th, we were there. That was really well attended, and I know others can speak to it, but the crowds were great. And then the menorah lighting that occurred on the 15th in celebration of Hanukkah. And again, and the mayor spoke at that, and I think the key point, because it was right after the Australia tragedy, that to really encourage our Jewish community to come out, share the light, and it was a very, very heartwarming event, actually. I had to leave a little early because I had the Community Relations Commission was hosting a listening session at Melba Bishop, and there were a number of people in attendance who had a lot of issues, and Max Disposti is going to gather all those notes, I think, and bring them forward to council in some form. So I won't talk about those things. And then Fire Station 9 opening was this past Monday. Fire Station 9 out in the North River Farms development. Really great event, another one well attended. And then that next morning we had the Chamber's Rising Star breakfast. And I know the mayor goes to a lot of them. You couldn't make that one, but right. I think you would agree that if people next year, if you need a little lift, if you're feeling down, find out when that event is and go listen to those kids, and it's very uplifting. I know you're at most of them. And other than that, I just want to let council know that, and thank you for keeping me on North County Dispatch JPA. I did get reelected to be chair for this year, and Cal Cities, I did get appointed to the Public Safety Committee.
You're always there.
Yeah, and thank you, I appreciate that. And I will be going to Sacramento January 22nd through the 23rd for the, all their committee meetings are that week. So that's it. Other than that, everybody have a Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and a great New Year. We'll see you in 26.
Deputy Mayor Joyce.
I will not revisit anything that was brought up already, so that's my commitment. There was a lot going on the last 2 weeks.
The Brooks Theater, I'm sure you'll mention.
Yeah, that was on my list.
Okay.
I'll leave it for you, though, because that was a good one. I did get a chance to visit with clients at the Navigation Center. Councilman Figueroa was there, too. And just want to share with council, they shared how positive their experience is right now, how the folks at the center have been helping them to navigate getting their benefits that they're entitled to and finding housing, and they're feeling a deep sense of gratitude to the fact that they have a safe place to sleep at night right now. And they were asking for, basically they asked for a TV, that's it, in the space, but other than that, no complaints, and they were very, again, appreciative of the opportunity to be inside and to not be out in this weather right now. I went to the Housing Commission last night, and just to bring back some of the feedback that they gave on a program that was presented by Housing was they presented a program on first-time home buyers, a program that we previously had up and running, and the commission did give some pushback given that the amount of funding that would be available per household seeking their first-time home buying opportunity doesn't seem like it's enough to cover what it used to. Essentially, we had this program and it was doing work over 11 or 12 years ago was the last time that somebody actually used it, but it was the home prices have just exploded since then, and so there's some concern that we're going to have money on the shelf because it won't actually be able to reach the folks that need it. So they gave some really great feedback, and I hear that that's going to be coming back to council in the new year. I attended the Sandag Shoreline Preservation Working Group, and we had a chance to hear from the folks from Surfline. Anyone who's a surfer knows what Surfline is. And they have cameras on the surf everywhere. And one of their new programs is using those cameras to really monitor surf. And they have this really high intelligence that they use to tell how many surfers are in the water, how many waders. They can help you understand your tourism on your beaches. So they're partnering with us to do some monitoring previous to re-beach. And it's going to be really important information for us coming with that. So it's good to hear from them. There's an awesome shoreline annual report that's out that I'd be happy to forward to the rest of council. That is a yearly report, but this one was super interesting and had some new updated information along with, our scoop that we had. I would let folks know that on Tuesday, there is a food distribution at Shiloh Church. And those are always well attended. It's in the middle of the day. It's typically on Thursdays, but it's on Tuesday next week because of the holiday. And then tomorrow I have NCTD, which will include some kind of standard things. We have a couple of collective bargaining agreements that are coming in-house and getting finalized, and a draft CIP budget for the new year. There's been a lot of press around transit districts and how they're kind of weathering the storm that is the uncertainty right now. And so if anyone's interested, we have our meeting tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you. There was a concert at Brother Benno's that was pretty wonderful. Got to give a tour to an organization that is providing blankets. I think they provided something close to several hundred blankets to Brother Benno's, to the shelter, and also to the LGBTQ Resource Center. It was really, really a fantastic thing. They are associated with Oceanside Bombers, which is our newest and only home team for indoor football. I'm going to let Councilmember Figueroa talk a little bit more about Pop Warner and the fantastic wins they had. 3 age groups went to North Carolina, and he'll let you know blow by blow what's happened. But I also want to give out a shout out to our Parks and Rec department, because they, working with Visit Oceanside, have replaced the beach volleyball poles and netting. So we just did that this past week. We had some students from OHS who are out there ready to volley the ball. And I don't know, they seem so high. I remember we used to spike the ball. So I don't know, maybe I'd lost an inch or something, I don't know. Also at Oceanside Museum of Art, City of Oceanside, for the benefit of Oceanside Museum of Art, received $3.59 million grant from the state. The advocate for that was Senator Catherine Blakespear, State Senator Blakespear. So this is a very, very welcomed amount of funds, because the goal was for $10 million to reach that, to be able to build out that, the old Fire Station 1 that has actually been other things besides a fire station, but it is a historic building. And on top of that, it's an Irving Gill building. So kudos to everybody that was involved with that, including the City of Oceanside. Sandag, the City of Oceanside has been identified as a potential recipient of grant funding. It'll be finalized in February, so we're actually one of the higher ones that are noted to be getting that, and it's $3.5 million. So lots of really good things happening, and I'll let Councilmember Figueroa talk a little bit more about Pop Warner.
Oceanside setting records and making its name felt again in football across our country. This past week, 3 Pop Warner Oceanside teams went to North Carolina to compete in nationals. All 3 teams made it to the championship game. The 11U Running Pirates, the 13U Smack City, and the 14U Warriors. The Running Pirates came up short in a very, very close game.
Last few seconds of the game.
But the Warriors and Smack City both became national champions. So historic for the city of Oceanside. We hope that we can celebrate them as a community in the coming year, but just so proud of the coaches, the parents, the athletes. It really takes a community, and our Pop Warner programs have always been strong here in the city. And to see that tradition continue, a lot of the coaches are former Pop Warner players here in Oceanside. So just very proud of Oceanside as a whole and everyone that supported them, because it took a lot to get all three teams there. And so just, it's amazing, an amazing accomplishment for our entire city. On that note, I forgot to mention one announcement for this weekend. Save Our Streets is holding their 19th annual candle visual in honor of officers Dan Bessett and Tony Sepatella. They'll be holding candle visuals at John Landis Park, Crown Heights Community Resource, or at the Resource Center at the Cesar Chavez Park, Balderrama, Libby Lake Resource Center, and at Melba Bishop. So this is the 19th annual visual that they do every year in honor of our fallen officers and others that have fallen to violence in our city. So thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah to everyone. Happy New Year, and we'll see you back on January 14th, 2026, 3:30 for closed session. Meeting adjourned for 2025. Thank you.